Hello everyone and welcome to the All Eyes on Paris series brought to you by The Athlete's Story, where you'll get up close and personal with the best beach volleyball players in the world as they head towards the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. I'm your host Kerry Potthast, motivational speaker and storytelling coach. I also competed in 3 Olympic Games in the sport of beach volleyball, and I was fortunate enough to have the stars align back in 2000 when Nat Cook and I won gold at our home Olympics in Sydney. Now, we all know that storytelling brings big events like the Olympics alive and connects us with the competitors on a much more personal level, which is why All Eyes on Paris will be following the top players and delving into their personal journeys, uncovering their magic and helping you get to know them better, all while they are on their road to Paris. So whether you're a fan, an aspiring beach volleyball player, or you're just looking for some inspiration, get ready for an exhilarating journey into the world of these elite athletes. On this week's show, we have an absolute favourite of mine. Yes, she's an Aussie, and I just love saying her name, Mariafe Artacho Del Solar. Mariafe was born in Peru in South America and moved with her beautiful mother to Sydney, Australia when she was just 11 years old. Inspired by the beach game, she started playing with adults and getting experience from an incredibly young age on the sands of Manly Beach. Now, as a 30-year-old, 2-time Olympian, entrepreneur, fashionista, animal lover, and an inspirational role model to young athletes around the world, she's living in Brisbane with husband Jack as she prepares for one better than silver with her beach volleyball partner Taliqua Clancy. Together for over 6 years on the sand, they took home silver in the Tokyo Olympics. They were the World Championship bronze medalists in 2019, and they are 2-time Commonwealth Games silver medalists. So far, Mariafe has played in 83 events on the World Tour, winning 9 gold, 5 silvers and 9 bronze medals. Currently sitting in 7th on the provisional Olympic ranking, they've yet to play all the events needed to qualify, but they hope to push their ranking up over the next 6 months. At 5'9" or 175 centimetres, she's a force to be reckoned with at the net and one of the most consistent players when it comes to successfully transitioning after her incredible defensive plays. Hi Mariafe, thank you so much for joining me on All Eyes on Paris. How are you?
Hello, I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. First of all, thanks very much for coming on. Whereabouts are you at the moment?
At the moment, I'm home. Don't get to spend too much time here, but I've been absolutely loving my time at home. It's been so nice. Just slowly getting back into training, and it's been so good to spend time with Jack and and my pets and my friends. So it's been really good.
Yeah, I love watching all your pets online. You're an animal lover, as am I. We love our animals, and it just makes life so much more exciting. And of course, we love Jack too.
Yeah.
I know that this year is obviously going to be a massive year for everyone. We've got 6 months left until we're all down there in front of the Eiffel Tower. How exciting is Paris? Like, can you picture yourself like playing there with the Eiffel Tower in the background?
Yeah, 100%. It's obviously been a goal obviously since we finished Tokyo, and Paris is actually one of my favorite cities in the world. I just find it so magical, and the Eiffel Tower, I just like it's phenomenal. So to be playing in front of that incredible, what do you call the Eiffel Tower? Like a monument?
Yeah, monument.
Yeah, like to be playing in front of such an iconic monument, I think not to be biased, but beach volleyball is going to be so popular and one of the most watched sports. It's going to be amazing and I can't wait.
Yeah, how lucky are you? I mean, you've had it. That's the first iconic venue you were at was on Copacabana Beach in Rio back in 2016. And you've had 2 very different Olympic experiences so far. This is your 3rd Olympics coming up, Paris. But taking us back to Rio, the first time you stepped out on the court with Nikki Laird, in front of screaming Brazilian and obviously other fans from all over the world. How was that compared to then going to Tokyo? We all know that there weren't any fans there, and of course, 2 different results as well.
Yeah. Copacabana was an incredible experience. It was like the party vibes, and we played at midnight as well. So I think two of our games were at midnight, just prime time US time. And I'm pretty sure we played Kerry in April 1st. So it was like bang straight into it. But it was such a cool experience. I mean, I got to see what an Olympics was like, what it took to be at the top of the podium, how, athletes, I guess, go about things and how others do it different. So I think it was just more of an experience, which was super, super cool because then that gave me a really good perspective for my next Olympics to be like, okay, Tokyo is going to be business time. I'm going to go and get a medal. So that was really cool to have kind of those two perspective. And yeah, obviously once Tokyo came around and the crowd, obviously no one was allowed to come into Japan. I thought that was going to be as I thought it was going to be worse than it was. It actually wasn't. Obviously, it was such a shame because again, the stadium and all the infrastructure was incredible and was phenomenal, and it would have been so cool to see it packed and that whole atmosphere. But I don't know, it was just kind of a different mindset. Like once I stepped on the court, I was like so in the zone that I actually didn't even notice that there was no one there. I kind of just created our own energy within like between the lines. And yeah, I didn't really notice that it was empty. And then obviously once the game finished, you're like, oh, it's empty. But during the game, yeah, I was so focused and I had one goal and I was gonna go for I was always like no one was gonna stop me to getting that medal. And yeah, I didn't really feel the difference.
Yeah, it's funny how you say that because I felt exactly the same in Sydney. Like I didn't notice that there were 10,000 people screaming for us and it was so
Yeah.
loud and it was so crazy and it was not until the last ball landed out and the game was over that you kind of just go, "Oh yeah, there's thousands of people here screaming at me."
Yeah.
So you were obviously in the zone there. Have you felt that since? Just interesting. Have you felt that since then?
Yeah, for sure. Like obviously every time we get to play in a stadium, you don't like you kind of feel the noise, but you don't. Like you don't really aware exactly like everyone's like, "Oh, did you hear me screaming and supporting and cheering? And did you see that song?" I was like, "Not really." Like I had no idea you were cheering or you can't really hear it. Like you're kind of aware of it, but you're not. Like you're so in the zone every time you get to play in front of a big crowd that yeah, you don't really hear it. But at the same time, you feed off the energy and the energy that's there. It's so fun. And I absolutely love playing in front of a huge full stadium. Like it's so fun. And the people especially that know beach volleyball, so a lot obviously in Europe they understand the game and they get so involved. It's just like I feel like but to the public sometimes it's so hard to describe that like fussy like goosebumps feeling. It's just it's so fun, which is what you do it right for those moments.
Yeah, I'm so glad that like you're going to Paris and it's just going to be packed. I don't know how big the
Yeah.
stadium is. 10,000 seats again, 15,000.
Yeah, usually it's around 10 to 15.
Yeah, it's going to be
Yeah,
a lot of
and they
people.
have that huge screen outside, like, on the garden, that garden, which, yeah, I'm sure it'll be packed as well because I think they're all sold out, the tickets. I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty
I
much
think
like that every Olympics. Like our
yeah,
sport gets sold out as soon as
yeah,
the tickets go on sale, and it's one of the most popular Olympic
mm,
sports ever.
yeah,
Um, and I'm just going to be so thankful and grateful that I'm going to be there
yeah,
commentating girls winning gold. And I'm saying that to everybody. I'm not being biased because you're an
yeah.
Aussie. But I'm saying, everybody's got to win gold when you win gold, not if you win
Yeah.
gold. But it's
They,
going to
the medals actually came out today. Did you see them?
yes. So there's going
Yes.
to be a piece of the Eiffel Tower. Is
Eiffel
that right?
Tower. Yeah, so, yeah, the medals of the Eiffel Tower, there's, like, piece in every medal, which is pretty cool. It's
That is
designed by a jeweler. I think I read.
Yeah,
So
that's pretty amazing. So again, like there's just every 4 years there's something very special about what happens at the Olympics. But yeah, it's every athlete's dream and this will be your third one. So
yeah,
well done, congratulations. Obviously the qualification hasn't been set in stone, but you
yeah,
guys are currently seventh in the provisional ranking, but you haven't played the full quota of tournaments yet. So you'll be pushed
yeah.
up and then I guess during the next 6 months, you'll be wanting to try and get your seeding as high as possible. What goals have you set for the next 6 months in terms of in the lead up to Paris? What?
Obviously our goal was like for Tokyo, you want to be top 5. You kind of I don't know, there's a bit of history that in usually top 5 teams are the ones to medal. So that's kind of where we want to be at. But like in the women's game is so open. Everyone's so competitive. Any team can win any day, which makes it awesome, but at the same time it's so challenging, and it's great. It's a great competition, but yeah, that'll make it really exciting. I think every game will be like a finals type of game.
Absolutely. I mean, you just look at all the top 10 teams in the women, and probably even more. Anyone can win, like you said, on any given day. So do you guys, what's your goal for Paris then?
Always to win. Always our goal is once we step on the court is to win. But again, like you want to focus on the processes, and because the Olympics in beach volleyball is dragged for 2 weeks, like pretty much the whole time, you kind of have to take one game at a time and treat each game as its own little tournament. So
Yeah.
yeah, big focus obviously to win like always, and it would be amazing to grab that gold. But yeah, really just bringing it down to each game at a time.
Yeah, I love that because it's the longest tournament that we ever play
Yeah.
ever, dragged over that amount of time. So it's really difficult to stay focused. You just can't stay focused, can you?
No,
These
you
um,
can't. You
two
go mental. You go
yeah.
men you can't even like, I mean, personally, I switch off for, like, the whole day until, like, an hour before the game, and then obviously start my routine, and then yeah. But I sometimes I see athletes and I'm like, "Huh?" Like, you're already so switched on from the moment you wake up. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's funny how everyone's so different, but yeah.
Yeah, and it's difficult then partner-wise. So how are you and Taliqua very similar, and then how are you very different?
Yeah, in that regards, we're both the same. Like, we both know to switch off. Like there's no point getting switched on too early because otherwise it's so draining. Like the game is already so demanding mentally, emotionally, physically that you want to save your energy. So yeah, in that sense we're both very similar, and same with warm up. I think a lot of teams make fun of us, just like we rock up not probably like 45 minutes before the game, and they're always like, where are they, bro? Like we just don't need that much of a long warm up. We like it very short and sharp. um,
I love that you guys are so relaxed and I guess I'll say the word slow because I can't think of anything else. Just calm and just chilled, you know, off the court. But you get on the court, and my goodness, like when you guys don't have glasses on, you can see the steely focus of your eyes and the speed in which you guys play. So that obviously that combination that both of you are like that, because the worst thing you want to be is with someone who's like, oh come on, oh yeah, we've got to get there 2 hours early and we've got to do
yeah,
and then we've got to warm down, then we've got to warm up again and do stretch.
yeah,
And
yeah. But
that
I
would
think that's
that's
where, like, I think that's where the understanding and the respect comes in from each other. Like, okay,
yeah.
I respect if that's what you need, and if you do need to go to the court 2 hours before, then like feel wrenched, like you go and I'll meet you there, because if I go there 2 hours before, then that won't work for me. So I think having that space for each other in whatever that means, whether that's with warm up or warm down or processing things, like I think that's really important. Obviously, you get to understand and learn that more the more you play with each other. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's a really big part of a partnership.
And now you guys are in is this your seventh year together now?
No, it's only our 6th, it's only, I think, like, our 5th season playing,
Okay.
because 2020 was, like, a nothing
Yeah.
year. But, yeah, we teamed up and, like, December 2018, so 2017, so 2018 was our first season, so we played 2018, 2019, 21, 22, 23. Yes. Oh, yeah, so it is, oh my god, it's gone quick.
Oh, you
Yeah.
get so old. So
Yeah.
soon. Oh, no, I really respect the fact that you guys have stayed together. I know you've worked hard on, your team, and in terms of, the talent pool in Australia, you guys are so well matched. I want to take you back to when you first started becoming an elite beach volleyball athlete in Australia, because I've got to say it, like you're not one of the tallest players. Everybody knows that. 5'9", 175 centimeters.
I'll
Similar.
take that.
Oh, is that an extra centimeter?
Number 2, but I'll take it.
Oh, I just made you taller. You were
Yeah.
a night. But there's so many players out there that just think, oh, I'm never going to get to the top level because I'm not tall enough. But now there's like you, Kristen Nuss, Sinja
Yeah.
Tillman. Like, there's so many smaller, amazing defensive players that are amazing on the net as well. Obviously, you're not blocking, but attacking. Um, what happened when you first came out in Australia? Because I know it was hard, and I just want to find out your mindset that kept driving you to keep going, because you kind of got overlooked quite a bit, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It was very challenging, but I don't know, coming from South America, like I was more like a very passionate player. So I play with a lot of heart. I play with a lot of yeah, great, and that fight, and that fighting spirit was really there. And I think I carried every game that I play with. It's something like one of my biggest values, and I think kind of that's what really helped me. I really found it that I don't know back then, I don't know how it is now, but they were really focused on stats and numbers, and how tall you are and how fast you can run, and all these like numbers, like very science based. And I was like opposite of that. I was so like intuitive intuitive
Yeah.
intuitive intuitive, and yeah, play with, like I said, like a lot of passion and heart. And that was my game. And I don't know, yeah, I hope now they kind of see that in players and take, each person's strength and kind of build that athlete with what they've got, instead of like, oh, she's not tall enough, or she's not fast enough, or she's not skinny enough, or whatever the reason is. Like I hope they don't do that anymore. But yeah, look, I had my dream and my goal, and obviously you had a big impact you and Nat had a big impact in igniting that Olympic dream after I saw your postcard after you won the Olympics in 2000, and I saw the picture of both of you in the podium, and I just kind of felt that I wanted that feeling of winning a medal at the Olympics. So I was like, I'm just going to do anything I can to do that and be there and experience that. So yeah, I obviously got, overlooked a bit and not selected in many selection for tournaments and stuff. But like that didn't stop me. Like I had very clear what I wanted to do, and I just, it might look different for me, and but I just put my head down, and kind of every opportunity I got to play with whoever, I made the most of that opportunity, and I learned from that person. And yeah, I feel like, there's always something you can take from every experience. And I'm very positive, and I think that was like a big thing for me as well, because I
Yeah.
could have easily like throw in the towel and be like, well, they're obviously not, like they're very focused on a certain like height of players, and then they have this theory that, but I was like, no, I'm gonna change that. Like I'm gonna, I think beach volleyball is such an art of a sport, and I think there's room for everyone. Like if you can balance, so like if you like, for example, yeah, Kristen, um
Nice. Yeah.
yeah, Nas and Cloth, like perfect example, and very similar to TNI, and then Cynthia, yeah, Tillman. And there's so many teams that, if you find that really good balance and you can find a game that works, then you can make magic happen. Like you don't have to be a certain size or a certain this
Yeah.
or that. Like,
I love that.
beach volleyball is about finesse and power and physicality. And if anything, like you have to be so strong up here, and that has a big impact on the game. Like everyone can play the game, but whoever is strong up here pretty much takes that little big difference at the end of the games.
Wow, that was an incredible 2 or 3 minutes right there. that any young beach volleyball player, male or female, should listen to. I think what I got out of that was just your passion and your fire to start with. So we should send all of our athletes to South America for a few years.
Yeah, well, I think it comes like, obviously South America, like in a way you see a lot that we like. Obviously I'm very um I'm I'm very lucky that I had so much love and a good childhood. But
Yeah.
a lot of people have to fight for their
Mm,
lives and fight to put food on the table. And so you see the difference. Like I definitely saw the difference, like when you come from when you get to at least see it from a country where I was born, compared to
yeah.
like very, you know west, not third world, for example, not like a
Yeah.
third world country.
Yeah.
You see like sometimes a different in the fire
Oh,
of
totally. Yeah,
yeah,
you come back from a world tour event and, you know, come back to somewhere like Australia or America. Oh yeah, everything's still there. The
life
gym's
is
there,
great.
practice there, programs there, the money's still there. But you go
Yeah,
back to somewhere where you're scrimping and saving and trying to get every single dollar to just
mm,
get out onto tour, and it just makes it so much more worthwhile. And similar situation to Natalie and I, because for us it was all about creating the funding opportunities.
yeah,
There's a lot more now, obviously, But we had to really fight hard to,
Yeah.
put our hands up and say, we need more money all the time. We need
Yeah.
money for this. And we weren't keeping any of it. It was going out to coaching and
Mm.
accommodation and just trying to, look after our bodies. But yeah, so I got the fire, the passion, and just using every opportunity to, to its absolute max, which was
Mm.
amazing. So you're an incredible role model. I've just got to say that as a female athlete in this country, and you have an incredible story. And I hope that you continue to share that when you finish playing. Just on that, so for those people who probably don't know you but might have picked up, you weren't born in Australia, born in Peru. You came over here 10 or 11. Is that
Yeah, I
right?
was 11. So mum and I moved when I was 11. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you landed in Manly, in New South Wales, in Sydney, where I am right now. And you just started to kind of play volleyball with your brother and mates, down on the beach on the sand. From that moment on, who do you think has been your biggest influence in the sport in terms of who's taught you the most? Because I'm sure you've learned from a lot of stack of different people, but whether it was a player or a coach or an administrator or a mentor, who has taught you the most?
Oh, for me it was Dita Rokampa. Yeah. I don't want to get emotional because obviously he's left us, but oh, he was amazing, just giving his time for free at the beach. 3 times a week I would go after school after I was in year 6 back then, so straight after primary after year 6 I would finish, drive to Manly, and yeah, Dita just open arms for everyone. He was amazing. I
Yeah.
went, oh my God, I'm getting so
Yeah.
he
And I
was
and
yeah,
I think pretty sure he thinks that you were pretty amazing too, and that's why he gave his time to you. So let's
yeah,
pass on.
yeah.
I wasn't sure whether Dita was going to be the answer there, but yeah,
No,
he was
he
amazing.
was he put a lot of time into me and, yeah, really paved the way for me to then, take that next step.
Okay. Let's go on to something a little bit happier. Your partnership with T. So, what is the best thing about having T by your side on the court?
Super competitive. T will do anything, whatever it takes to win, which, I'm all about that. And that's something we both have very much in common. We both are on the same page and we always go out there to win. It doesn't matter, how. So yeah, with T's strengths and my strengths, we've obviously found a really fun way of playing the game, very physical. So yeah, I think that's kind of, we play a very different game as everyone can probably have seen. But yeah, both of what T brings and what I bring has allowed us to, achieve what we have achieved, and also, yeah, gel so well.
Yeah, and both so different in your skills, but so good at those particular skills that you use. I mean, watching her footwork, I mean, you're passing to the net for her to hit the ball on two, and then her being able to just get to that ball
Yeah.
every single time and do something with it, not just put it over, but find a spot on the sand
Mm.
is incredible. And you started that, a couple of years ago, or 2 or 3 years ago, probably more. I don't know how many, but now we're looking at the game changing in the men's side so much in the last 12 to 18 months with the Swedish boys coming out, and everyone's now starting to jump set and trying to
Yeah.
fool the blockers. Do you see that happening in the women's? Do you think the women will start to do more jump setting?
You can see a few athletes do it here and there, but you obviously, like, you see them do it not sideways, so it's like you're setting like this, you're never gonna hit that ball.
Yeah.
So they do it, but yeah, you could definitely see the men just take it to another level. Like, I don't know what I would do playing against those Swedish boys. My God, they are so agile and so quick and so they're amazing to watch. I really enjoy watching them play. But yeah, I think in the women's game, there's definitely a lot of more teams going on second.
Mm.
And I think that, yeah, they're slowly trying to adapt new ways of, spreading the ball or faking one way, going the other. I think that definitely that up and down game is like slowly, yeah, changing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see like what it looks like in the next couple of years in the women's game.
Yeah, you can imagine the Olympics in 2028, and there's some
Yeah.
new Swedish women's team or some
Yeah. Oh
random
my
team from
God.
somewhere that's just so athletic that they can do all that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
flying side sets and just bound from. I mean, to be honest, you guys are almost like that. I mean, from my
Yeah.
point of view, having watched the women's game evolve, you guys are doing that, doing as close to that as possible with the way you spread your game and the
Yeah.
physicality of your game. You just don't have the jump set.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I've
It is so
tried it,
cool.
but it's so hard to, like, hold your body compact in the air and then set it, and then for the set to come
Sideways.
this yeah, and then for the set to have enough height whilst you're, like, compact in the air. Yeah, it's challenging, but it seems fun.
If anyone can hit one that's not quite in the right spot, you've got the right partner to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you guys had a couple of medals in 2023. You didn't win a tournament in 2023, I don't think. I think you won one. The last win was
We won
back
a
in
challenger, we won a spinner.
Okay.
Um,
Was that 2023? I can't remember now. Maybe at the beginning of 2023.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
2023. We were so close in Uberlandia, but the US girls got us. Yeah, we've got a couple of medals, like silver and bronzes in the elites, and then yeah, golds. Yeah, it's tough competition.
What do you think you need to do to get up there in the finals consistently? Like to improve your seeding, obviously for one, but just to get that kind of confidence or whatever you need going into Paris. What more can you do? How can you make your game better?
Well, there's always so much more you can do, right? You kind of never stop getting getting it. I think one thing we struggle the most is just having that type of consistent training competition at home. So we
Mm,
tend to go away like a week before the event to get that same type of competition, so it's not like a shock to the system once we start playing. So, we can consistently get to semifinals, but then once you actually get to semifinals, then the level's just like another step. Like it's
yeah,
another level. So to try and like consistently win those games, I feel like we're just lacking that type of training at home. Like we don't
yeah,
have that consistent challenging training at home day in, day out.
yeah,
We only really get it a week before competition, and
yeah.
not really enough to
Do
to
you
be
train?
winning those semifinals.
Do you train against guys?
We do. I mean, we do have, like, Josh comes in and helps us, and we had Ruben before he moved down to Adelaide. And then Brad sometimes steps in, but then he can't coach. So it's just like, it's a little bit challenging, but we make it work with what we have. But it's just
Yeah.
like, that's probably like what we're lacking in that consistency of winning that semi final. That's why we
Yeah,
just,
and it's the constant experience at that level. I mean,
yeah,
all Australian teams, men and women, have always had that. I mean, the battle
yeah,
that we have because we're so far away from that consistent competition. The Europeans, they have all their events, they have high quality. The Americans, they have it there. The Brazilians have an incredible national tour, so they're getting that experience. So,
yeah,
yeah, it's kind of something that you could. The only thing you can really fill in to that space is finding some way to get that experience mentally
yeah.
or
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just I guess trust, like, I don't know, trusting it more and just backing yourself more at the end, like at the back end of sets. I don't know.
do you
Um,
do you work with a sports psychologist or a mindset
yeah,
coach? Yeah.
yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Which, yeah, it's a big part of the game. Huge.
Yeah. How much part of the game do you reckon it is? I asked Kristen this. I said, how much of the game do you think is physical? How much is like emotional? And how much, because emotion obviously is a big part of it, whether it's good emotion or bad emotion, physical,
Yeah,
emotional, and then just that mindset that you need that, which includes
yeah.
mind.
I would say quite a big chunk. Like either like 60-40 or 55-45. Like it's a big chunk because everyone can play at that level, but it's just that little two percentages of who can regulate their emotions, who can control their emotions, who can, deal with that pressure at that back end when it's 21-19 and you're starting out. Like that's the difference there. And like being able to still go after it and stay aggressive at those moments,
Yeah.
and trying to, yeah, like regulate your emotions, it's huge. I would say somewhere around like 60
Yeah.
40 45 55.
Exactly, pretty much exactly what Kristen said. And I think I'm going to ask pretty much everybody this, but I think
Yeah,
the answer is going to be very much the same. You particularly, I feel, regulate your emotions really well. Like you have a high level of an energy emotion, but I've very rarely, if ever, seen you, go down here. How do you stay up there? What
yeah,
do you,
yeah.
what are
I
the tools that you
Yeah,
use?
it's probably one of my I would say, like, one of my strongest skills, my mental toughness. I've worked a lot. I love self-development and personal development. Like, I just thrive of always trying to be the best version of myself and discovering the best version of myself and constantly, like, finding myself in situations where, okay, it's testing me. How am I going to react to this situation? Because I've got full control of how I'm going to respond and react to this situation. Like, I control how I feel about it. So I love that stuff. Like, I read so much about it. I watch so many videos and podcasts on it. And I think that's what's really helped me. Like Ben Crow. Do you know Ben Crow? Love him. He's so good. And I love like learning that side of things and the psychology of everything around that kind of area. So I think it's practice. So every time I get in situations where I could either like blow out or, I could really make me feel down or really, piss me off, I'm like, okay, take a breath, acknowledge it, what's going on, and just have that and just be able to regulate my reaction and my response because it doesn't help when, when you go into like a negative, like I don't get angry. Like I really don't get angry.
Hey, Jack.
Jack, he reacts. Nah. Nah, he's all right.
Look, I see that in you, and I love the fact that you're always looking to develop yourself as a person because that's really such a massive part of who we are as athletes.
Yeah.
It just never stops, and all the
And you
things.
can't control it. Like, you can't control sometimes the ref making a shit call, or you can't control the wind or the rain, like and you gotta be able to, just we have so many variables in our sport. You got like I said, the ref, the opposition, and you just gotta stay so strong about, "Okay, this is not gonna affect me. How am I gonna turn this into my advantage? I'm gonna use it as a motivation into, okay, let's go." So, yeah, I love that side of the game.
So, would that be your favorite part of the game? Just kind of working out that mental puzzle. What's your favorite part, physical or whatever? What do you just kind of get? Wow, that was amazing! Out of like a dig and a great smack down finish, or
I love passing on two for T to hit on second.
good.
Um, Passing is probably one of my favorite skills as well. Because being able to like pass the ball for it to come out as a set, like to control the tempo as well as the location. Um, yeah, I've really enjoyed kind of um, how
Work.
do you say it? Like working on that,
Yeah,
making
because
it
I
like
see the difference over the years how you and T have kind of you started doing it and it was kind of a bit all over the place and
yeah,
now she just knows she can kind of read the ball off your body, I guess, as
yeah.
well, depending on how you are. She
But
knows
then
what.
like it's obviously because the women's serving is becomes like
Yeah,
one of the strongest thing too. So like trying to control that with the speed of it coming. So and that side of it is just like right mental because then you could start doubting yourself and you're like, well, why the hell am I, taking the higher risk pass? If I can just pop it in front of me and block it. But I'm like, nah, let's go. So, and that's fun about beach volleyball. You can try so many new things, you can do so many new things, you can play around with it, and it's fun.
what was your favorite event last year?
Probably start. We got a cowbell.
Switzerland. Yeah, the cowbell. I've still got
Yeah,
mine shed. It's a little bit tarnished, but that
yeah.
was one thing every player wants is one of those cowbells. Eh? They're
Actually, it
huge.
wasn't last year. It was probably the year before. No, we got fifth last year. It was the year before.
Yeah, it was the year before. Yes.
Yeah, it was the year before. Here I am claiming a cowbell last year. Last year, Uberlandia was really fun too because we played Brazil in the semi. We played Dude and Patricia, and they train in Uberlandia, so it was like a club, and
Yeah.
the crowd were just booing us and whistling during surf, like and we beat them, and that was such a great game. It was such a good, like, good volleyball game, like,
Yeah.
it could have gone either way, and we beat them. That was a really, like and then we ended up losing to, Taryn and Kristen in the final, but that was a really good game too.
Uh,
Um, that was a fun event. Yeah, I don't know.
watch much video, or does the coach do most of that for you?
I like watching video, yeah. I do enjoy watching video. I pick up a lot of things. I'm a visual learner, so
Yeah, good.
But yeah, Brad does it a lot too.
Awesome. Now, just before we go, give me a little bit of a explanation of your new label. So, chance
Mm.
to promote what you're doing off the court.
Yeah, I've had a huge goal, like dream again, and I love fashion. To starting my own label, Del Solar, the label, for so many years, and yeah, I just really backed myself in. Jack was a huge supporter, so yeah, it's loungewear. Just I live in loungewear, so at the first drop was focused on loungewear, but I love to extend it to athleisure and unisex and a few men's apparel as well. So I've got lots of ideas, but yeah, Del Solar the label on Instagram, or we've also got the website delsolardlabel.com. Yeah, it's been so fun. It's been so different, like
Yeah,
business and learning. Like I'm doing an e-commerce and Shopify course, just trying to learn everything.
yeah.
And it's yeah,
Love
it's been really really cool because my whole life has just been volleyball. So it's been
it. Yeah,
really cool to just have like something else and
yeah.
you know starting to like talk to people about it and yeah, so I'm excited and yeah, I got big visions of it. So yeah.
What I love about that is that you're growing off the court. And I just think
Yeah.
that when you're doing anything off the court like that, that'll, that where you have to learn and you get pushed and stretched, I think that
Yeah.
really reflects back on the court as well because you get used to being out of your comfort zone in other
Yeah.
things other than just,
And yeah, and that's what the brand is about. Like my values and my mission of the brand was all about, staying true to yourself and being authentic and really backing yourself in. Because I mean, over the years, I'm like, oh, should I do it? Should I not? Will people buy it? Will people not? But I was like, nah, like you love it. It's one of your goals. You wanted to do it for so long, so just back it in. And so I kind of, when the people wear it, I want them to have that in them and feel that, and so then they can then go and do whatever they want. So yeah.
fantastic. Again, great role model. Now I've got 10 quick questions, 10 quick serves for you. So we're just going to go through fast. Don't have to answer long answers,
I'm
just
so
very
bad at this. I always say, like I answered in 2 sentences.
doesn't matter how long it takes. It's your time.
Yeah.
um, okay, number one, favorite moment in your volleyball career to date.
Shit. I don't probably winning Olympic medal.
Most admired beach volleyball player, male or female?
I love Laura. She's just so fun.
And she's playing again, which is
I
amazing.
know, I love it.
Yeah. Favorite tournament destination?
I love Hamburg, but I also love Stade.
Switzerland, start. Everybody loves start. Your
Yeah.
best skill?
I'd say passing or my mental. Yeah, I don't know.
Most embarrassing moment?
Oh, having to run off because I was shitting myself on the on
Mexico?
the at World Champs in the semi-final game. I had some bloody, not
Oh,
sure what it was,
oh.
virus. Yeah, and yeah, I had to run to the toilet.
Mm. I don't know why this one has followed that question, but Vegemite or peanut butter?
Oh, I love both. Probably Vegemite. I'm such an Aussie when it comes to that.
Favorite post-match meal?
Chocky milk.
Oh, yum. What type of music do you listen
Oh,
to?
did you say meal? Like,
Meal. Oh,
oh,
well,
like a dish.
fish. Okay,
No,
doesn't matter.
like you're saying a dish,
Oh, a
like
dish. Well, yeah, it doesn't matter. Whatever. What do you like to eat?
to eat. Well, I like to drink chocolate milk.
Yeah.
And to eat, I don't know, some type of like pasta, bolognese. Love my bolognese.
What type of music do you listen to?
Anything that I can sing along to and dance along to.
Disco kind of.
Like, I don't know, I love Tay, I love Justin Bieber, but I also love like Coldplay. I don't know, I like a bit of everything except for like heavy metal or stuff like that.
Yeah, same.
Oh,
Before,
reggaeton. I love reggaeton.
who?
Reggaeton. It's like Latin.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Before a match, do you socialize or do you keep to yourself?
Nah, socialize.
And Who or what do you want to be when you grow up?
Oh, when I grow up, I want to be a successful entrepreneur with my fashion label, and I also would love to have some type of like academy but not just beach volleyball. I love to like do sessions like goal setting and how to deal with emotions and under pressure or all that kind of stuff. Like I have so many ideas, but yeah, public speaking and sharing my story and yeah, hoping to inspire someone.
Well,
Yeah, I love
already
doing that.
you already are by doing what you're doing. Thank you very much, so much, for coming on our show, and all the very best of luck to you and T. I'll see you
Thank
in Paris, but maybe we'll get you on before Paris again to just kind of catch up to see where you're at. But thank you so much, Mariafe. It was an absolute pleasure.
thank you. Thanks for having me.